Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Restricted Republic. My name is Justice Knight, and I can't thank you enough for being here today, this day when the Department of Justice has again demolished Biden. How'd they do that? Through a letter they sent to Arizona about the audit to the state Senate, and ultimately, they simply steamrolled their own party. That's right, the letter steamrolled the Democrats. They really need to learn to think before they speak, but again, that's why we enjoy the Democrats here, because they don't. They react harshly. They don't think about their plan of action, and if you just slow down for a few seconds, it's so easy to expose it, it's almost laughable. So this will, in some ways, put a smile on your face, but should also raise some cause for concern as to why they're getting involved in the Arizona audit to begin with. Now, before I get there, I hope that if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you will. I hope you'll follow us at all these social media sites that Restricted Republic post on so you know where we're broadcasting our articles. But most importantly, and again, as you see now what they've done with Trump, they have silenced him, banned him, suppressed him. They're going to continue that with all conservative voices. So if you truly value conservative news, you want to hear some other opinion other than CNN and MSNBC on the news that matters, the important stories, go to restrictedrepublic.com. Right now, use discount code FREEDOM. You're going to get 24 months for $5 a month plus 14 days for free. Simply put discount code FREEDOM in monthly checkout. Once you go there, I promise you'll go nowhere else for your high-level news. Now let's get back to this story. So for anybody who hasn't been sleeping underneath a rock, you'll know that there is an audit going on in Arizona. Am I going to tell you about the 5 things you need to know? No, I'm going to tell you about the important things you need to know. Like the Department of Justice getting involved in some capacity, according to ABC 15, in the Arizona audit. Many of you should have seen some articles on that. Department of Justice asks Arizona Senate to respond to concerns about election audit. They send this letter to the Honorable Karen Fann. Now, we're going to read elements of this, but I think you need to have a better understanding. First, why is the Department of Justice getting involved in the audit? That should be your first question. Seeing the Democrats in the past themselves have asked for audits. Hillary Clinton urged to call for election vote recount in battleground states. Alleged irregularities in key states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin prompt demands for audit. So why now would using procedure be suddenly different? Well, because it's not fitting one side's agenda and narrative. Judge rules Arizona Senate can access 2020 election ballots. Well, to me, that would be an official court ruling. This on February 25th.
The judge says the subpoenas issued by Republican state lawmakers are legal and enforceable against Maricopa County supervisors. And that means those state lawmakers will get access to ballots and voting machines that were used in the November election. But the judge says the legislature has the power to investigate election reform issues, and that producing the materials they're asking for would not violate confidentiality.
In other words, it was ruled by a judge to be legal. Now, since that point in time and since this ruling, there has been multiple moves to stop the audit. Judge rejects Democrats' bid to immediately halt Arizona 2020 election audit. This on April 28th of 2021. The procedures before this, we could do an entire broadcast on, but I'm not going to waste your time. Just going to stay very high level. Arizona Democrats sue to try to stop Senate election audit just before it begins. Democrats won't put up $1 million bond to pause Arizona election audit. So on every front and every time they've tried to throw a brick wall in front of the procedure, it either stops, they don't comply, or it is ordered by courts to continue on. But here's the one that really gets to me. Democrats settle a lawsuit with Arizona Senate and the cyber ninjas who are conducting the audit on Maricopa County election audit. They settle, which means they agree to terms. I know. Why would the Department of Justice be sending out this letter then to the Honorable Karen Fann? Dear Senator Fann, I write regarding issues arising under federal statutes enforced by the United States Department of Justice that are related to the audit required by the Arizona State Senate for the November 2020 federal general election in Maricopa County. News reports, the Department of Justice is referring to news reports. That's phenomenal. Reports indicate that the Senate subpoenaed ballots, election systems, and election materials from Maricopa County and required that they be turned over to private contractors led by a firm known as Cyber Ninjas. The department has reviewed available information, including news reports. Once again, they've reviewed news reports from the likes of CNN and MSNBC because those would definitely not have a partisan spin whatsoever. I am so glad that our Department of Justice is using news reports to go ahead and prepare legal letters. This is an amazing, amazing republic we now live in. The information of which we are aware raises concerns regarding at least 2 issues of potential non-compliance with federal laws enforced by the department. We're going to get into those. I promise you that. But you see, there seems to be a whole lot of working up over them recounting these ballots, checking them for anomalies, and also Maricopa County delivered ballots machines to Fairgrounds for audit. Now, many said that Dominion sent in a team of attorneys. USA Today fact checks that story, calling it false. Here's the actual statement from Dominion. Nevertheless, the company has made it clear that publicly available information on the firms chosen to conduct the audit, Cyber Ninjas, show they are beyond biased and do not have any experience with elections-related work, the spokesman said. So we didn't send in attorneys. We just decided to get involved another way. Sometimes the best thing to do is just to be quiet. But again, they can't stop from speaking. They continue to push, and they really need to learn to think before they speak. So we can go to the all-knowing PolitiFact and ask them, why is Arizona Republicans auditing election results? Well, who's paying for the audit? In the answer, you can see their partisan nature comes shining out. Who is paying for the audit? State Senate Republicans agreed to pay Cyber Ninjas $150,000. The firm can also obtain money from additional sources. Christina Bob, who works for the right-wing One America News Network, which has aired falsehoods about the 2020 election, tweeted April 9th that she launched an entity to raise money for the audit. Later the same day, she announced that effort had raised $150,000. OAN set up a live stream of the audit. I love that they put that in there, which aired falsehoods about the 2020 election. So what do we know about the results so far? Not much. The audit was not set up to be transparent. Let me take issue with that statement for one moment. Most of you who have been following this audit know that there is multiple live cameras airing at all times simply by going to azaudit.org. So non-transparent would to me appear to be the polar opposite of what's happening. But we know that PolitiFact now is most definitely so left-leaning they would fall out of the chair I'm sitting in. PolitiFact checks about Biden 106. So they've gone ahead and made sure they fact check everybody who says something bad about Biden. But fact checks of Biden, they've only had 13. About this time during the Trump presidency, that number would be flipped. It was 106 fact checks of Trump and virtually none of anybody who claimed anything against him. So PolitiFact is, without a shadow of a doubt, just so everybody here understands, a partisan organization. So let's go to the first issue in that letter from the Department of Justice. The first issue relates to a number of reports suggesting that ballots, election systems, and election materials that are subject of the Maricopa County audit are no longer under the ultimate control of state and local election officials, are not being adequately safeguarded by contractors, aka Cyber Ninjas, at an insecure facility and are at risk of being lost, stolen, altered, compromised, or destroyed. And they give the subsection, of course. Everybody's going after the Cyber Ninjas. This Democracy Docket. Cyber Ninjas publish Arizona audit procedures. Down in their article, Cyber Ninjas, a company led by a Stop the Steal election conspiracy, released their how dare they release their policies. This nasty Cyber Ninjas that the Department of Justice then goes on to point the finger of blame at. The second issue relates to the Cyber Ninja statement of work for this audit. Among other things, the statement of work indicates the contractor has been working with a number of individuals to identify voter registrations that did not make sense, and then knock on doors to confirm if valid voters actually lived in the stated addresses. The statement of work also indicates that the contractor will select a minimum of 3 precincts in Maricopa County with a high number of anomalies in order to conduct an audit of voting history, and that voters may be contacted through a combination of phone calls and physical canvassing to collect information of whether the individuals actually voted in the election. No person, whether acting under color of law or otherwise, shall intimidate, threaten, or coerce. I didn't see any coercion. I thought that was simply a verification of fact. which is what an auditing firm should do to assure that everything within those ballots is what they're declared to be. That would be the very purpose of an audit, but the Department of Justice takes offense with that. From this firm, who released their entire policies and procedures, and I am not going to read 191 pages of it for you, but they go through search and seizure, how they'll conduct the audit, what they're going to do with the audit, how they're going to secure the information, and everything the Department of Justice basically declared that they were going to be doing has already been outlined that they won't be doing. The Department of Justice here is just a highly efficient organization. I mean, the transparency alone is suspect and in question. Everybody can get away with everything. Those off in some remote destination information, which is all right here on the right side of camera 9, are the boxes and the machines, but I guess that is a lack of transparency. Democrats settled a lawsuit with Arizona Senate, Cyber Ninjas on Maricopa County. They probably forgot about this too. Maybe they didn't even read the terms of the settlement. So I'll read it for them. So in case the Department of Justice decides to watch this broadcast, at least they can get their information and facts straight. Ruled out in the settlement, at least for now, is any work to match the signatures voters signed on ballot envelopes with signatures on file with the county. A process election worker undertake when process mail-in ballots. The settlement leaves open the possibility for the Senate contractors to perform such work if they provide a few days' notice. Well, that seems fair. Point 2 of the settlement. Black and blue pens are expressly forbidden anywhere ballots are handled, according to the settlement. A judge previously ordered Cyber Ninjas and other companies involved to remove black and blue pens from the counting area after the writing instruments were spotted by a Republic reporter shortly before counting. Now, if you'd watched these lawsuits, you knew that was dealt with prior anyway. The settlement also included a written agreement that the Senate will allow the news media to observe and report on the audit. The Republic and other news outlets have previously secured access, but not through an agreement formalized in court. So the settlement basically says that you already had the access, but now it's formally resolved. And we've already resolved the pens, but now it's formally resolved in a court document. The settlement. That now the Department of Justice, on the very same day, decides, well, we're going to step in anyway, even though our own party has already agreed to the terms of the settlement. Maybe post-election audits are just a rarity. Maybe they don't exist very often. So I went to the post-election audit website. There actually is one on the National Conference of State Legislatures, and just started thumbing through to see maybe Arizona is the only state that... No, never mind. This is Arkansas. Here's another one. I guess this wouldn't matter either. Here's another one. This is Georgia and Indiana. And we can continue to go through. These are each individual state and their audit amendments. And we want to continue to go down. So obviously, maybe now, this is from Oregon, this is from Michigan, this is from California, this is from, it's Kansas. It appears to me that maybe this isn't as rare as they want you to think it is. So Delaware. And back to state of Arizona. Whew. And I could continue to go, but I don't want to waste too much of your time. Just so you know, election audits aren't a rarity. No, there's actually a lot of state laws about it. So let's go down to the bottom of this letter, shall we? Past experience with similar investigative efforts around the country have raised concerns that they can be directed at minority voters, which potentially can implicate the anti-intimidation prohibitions of the Voting Rights Act. Such investigative efforts can have a significant intimidating effect on qualified voters that can deter them from seeking to vote in the future. Let's think about that for a moment. Last I checked, ballots weren't color-coded by the person who voted. So if you're auditing a ballot or a machine, with your own Democrat officials now allowed to go onto the audit floor, along with news media and cameras facing everywhere, I fail to see how that can be an intimidation module. No, but the Department of Justice obviously knows better. They have picked up on something that we have not, along with the Brennan Center for Justice, and along now with retired generals and service chiefs who launch Operation Protect Democracy in wake of Capitol storming. Now we're going to have ex-political officials or military officials come out, and they too are going to start advocating to assure that the American public is confident in the election system. Although their own Department of Justice is interfering in something the Democrats have already agreed to and courts have ruled in favor of and said was legal. And you wonder why people are asking the questions they are. You think all these officials maybe should simply learn to think before they speak and read. If they want to read the headlines and base a whole Department of Justice letter on those headlines, they should probably read the one that says Arizona Democrats and the Senate reach agreement to ensure recount security, which you put in your letter itself. You see, all the Department of Justice has done here is gone to reinforce some speculation that still exists out there. Who wouldn't now wonder what the heck is going on? Why did they just sit there and frankly embarrass the Biden administration once again? Because they have one major difficulty as a political party. They can't seem to get past the think before you speak methodology. Even on the same day when everything in Arizona was resolved to the satisfaction of the Democrats, that the Department of Justice is now coming in to say that the Democrats aren't being represented. I can give you no clearer example of an overpowered, overblown government completely out of touch with we the people, and we wonder why we question it every single day. So until next time, can't thank you enough for being here. Hope if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you will. Hope if you haven't gotten over to Restricted Republic, where you get the unfiltered, uncensored, no commercial news, this broadcast too will be re-aired there with no commercials and no interruptions. Again, that's out of appreciation for your time. Thank you so much for your support. We look forward to seeing, and I hope you look forward to what's coming up, because we have some amazing, amazing reports coming out. We just aired 2 over at Restricted Republic, by the way, that you can't afford to miss, because not more than 5 hours after yesterday's report, the very thing I predicted would happen happened. And I got to be careful how you say this here. In one of the countries who have the highest jab protection in the world, has one of the biggest outbreaks. You got to watch that report. I called it the Night King. You can't afford to miss it. Even if you see it under the 14-day free trial, get over there. It would be the most eye-opening report you ever saw. So until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justice Knight, signing out.